Conventional cable gives us many television channels, but our needs and demands are changing. So is technology, with the promise of new entertainment and educational programming, plus interactive and personal communication services.
Consumers will access huge libraries of programming, from hit movies on demand to traditional over-the-air broadcast signals, to narrowcasting, the niche programming that responds to diverse demographics and ethnic groups. Children will be engaged by interactive programming.
And press an action button.
Education comes alive when kids can travel through time or plunder the research archives of the Smithsonian. Distant learning becomes a reality when a college student can access any volume in the Library of Congress. For fun, kids can play video games with a friend across town or across the country. Advanced cable technology will convert televisions to telecomputers, allowing us to choose from an array of customized services. You can create your own personal information digests, influence the plot of a movie you're watching, or watch a football game from any seat in the stadium. Telemedicine permits long-distance diagnosis or a second opinion from across the country. Consumers can bank at home, and home shopping takes on new dimensions.
Those new dimensions will result in what's being called convergency, cable, telephone, and computer industries joining together. The major phone and cable companies are planning to become what they call full-service providers. That means offering packages of phone service, cable TV, and other information and communication services.
I think the real benefit for the consumer is going to be choice, because in the future, as we move into the telephone business and Ameritech and others move into the cable business, for the first time customers will have a choice, and I think at that point price and customer decisions will be based on the quality of the services they deliver, and I think ultimately the pricing will be fair because it will be competitive. So we look forward to a competitive future.
But that is in the future, and right now it's Warner that provides cable service to the city of Milwaukee, about 100,000 households from headquarters at Schlitz Office Park. Among the competition in Milwaukee in the not-too-distant future, Ameritech, which is planning to offer an alternative to cable system offerings, and there may be others. Next January, Warner begins work on a 4-year overhaul of its system using high-tech fiber optic technology.
It really is going to take us to the next level, because it will be fiber optic architecture, there will be backup power, there will be standby systems in place so that there'll be virtually almost no interruptions of service, and tremendous picture quality, and several dozens of new potential channels and services that will be available.
Hello, you still have no picture? Okay. Everything is plugged in. Okay, let's set you up for a service call, sir.
Along with the new technology, and as cable companies face potentially formidable competition for video customers, Warner is working very hard to improve its customer service and its image.
We do I think a very conscientious job trying to get the telephones answered with very qualified people and improving the quality of people we have on the telephones. It's kind of difficult with a system the way it operates today. The telephone technology or the cable technology that we have today is about 40 years old now in terms of the analog technology that we're planning to replace, as they may have, some of the customers, viewers of this program may have read in the newspapers that we're going to be upgrading the system. But in the meantime, the technology we've got, it is not inconceivable that if we lose electric power or one of the amplifiers shortens out, we might have several hundred or a few thousand customers go out of service simultaneously. So those things, they're not very often. When they do occur, we have a lot of people trying to call. So one of the things we try to do is put a message up front and let them know if there's an isolated isolated area of a problem, and hopefully we can get to them right away and take care of whatever their concern might be when they call us.
In addition, Warner and other area cable companies have implemented a customer guarantee program. Cable subscribers profit in the form of cash or free installation if their service person arrives late or doesn't show up at all. Warner's contract with the City of Milwaukee expires in 1999, and officials will be looking at the various competing telecommunications services. The Common Council's Utilities and Licenses Committee has some of the oversight responsibilities for cable operations.
I believe that specifically we have to make sure that the people are getting for their dollar that they're paying for the cable usage, those things that were in the contract that they're supposed to be getting.
City government plays a major role in determining uses of the public right-of-way for cable companies, utilities, and others who want to utilize that right-of-way. Officials have limited regulatory and policy options on the local level, but they do have the same concerns we all do about programming and customer service, and do communicate those concerns to Warner.
First of all, the quality of programming. The public access was a major franchise consideration. The kinds of programming that are coming on the air as it relates to the human relations concerns, the government concerns, to make sure that the information that the residents are getting is accurate information. And of course, the cost of the service they're getting, and to make sure they're not being overcharged.
5 cents of every dollar in your cable bill, nearly $2 million a year, goes to the City of Milwaukee. This channel, City Government Television Channel 26, is supported by the franchise fees paid by cable subscribers. The revenues exceed the costs of all cable-related activities of city government and also help to offset the property tax levy. Like other cable companies, Warner provides free service to schools in the city through Cable in the Classroom programs. A recent cable magazine featured 7th and 8th graders from Milwaukee's Grand Avenue Middle School as they produced a cable TV news program. Warner also provides money for the Milwaukee Access Telecommunication Authority, through which an average citizen can put a show on cable TV. Public access channels 14 and 47 were mandated by the franchise agreement. Some 6,000 City of Milwaukee residents have been trained as cable TV producers. About 1,000 community organizations have taken advantage of the free public access programming. What about the future? Many technical and financial concerns need to be resolved, including how much the new technologies will cost consumers. But with technology moving so quickly, it seems certain that much of what's been promised will turn into reality. It can take only seconds for a fire to grow out of control. In some cases, your property can't be saved, but with an early enough warning, well before it gets to this point, you can save your life or that of your children. That warning comes from a simple-to-use, inexpensive device.
Most fire fatalities occur between the hours of midnight and 6 o'clock in the morning, and without having that smoke detector handy, there's no way a person would know that there's a problem in their home at that hour of the morning.
So during September, Milwaukee firefighters are again going door-to-door in Northside neighborhoods, as they did earlier this year. The assignment, to increase the use of smoke detectors in the home, part of what's called FOCUS, an acronym for Firefighters Out Creating Urban Safety.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Schneider with the Milwaukee Fire Department. What we're doing, this is Project Focus, and we're inquiring to see if you have smoke detectors, and if you do, are they working? And if you don't, we install one for free. Okay. So, do you have one now in your house?
The areas selected for the special emphasis are older areas of Milwaukee, those which in the past have seen many house fires and fatalities. This time, it's the area from 21st to 35th Streets, from Burleigh to Capitol.
And then test it to make sure. Bingo.
In addition to providing smoke detectors and batteries, they also offer other fire education information and, in the informal setting of the home, answer any fire-related questions the resident might have. They provide materials explaining the care and maintenance of the smoke detector and other general fire safety tips for the home and business.
Okay. Well, Melvin, thank you very much. Good luck. Hopefully you don't have to use it.
The emphasis on smoke detectors, which are required by state law, has apparently made a difference. Since the program started, Milwaukee has seen a significant decrease in the number of fire fatalities.
From 1987 through mid-91, the city of Milwaukee experienced fire fatalities averaging 22 deaths per year. Of those deaths, 14 were deaths of children. Since the department has put the inception of FOCUS into place, the fatalities have declined dramatically. The current rate stands at 14 fatalities per year, 6 of which are children.
The smoke eaters say smoke detectors can help residents and the firefighters. When the smoke detector goes off, people are alerted and get out of their homes. And it's a big relief for the firefighters to pull up to a home and learn everyone is out.
If a person has gotten everybody out of the house, they're at their meeting place either by a tree, a fire hydrant, a light pole, whatever, and if the family members are telling us that everybody's out of the house, it lets us address the fire problem as opposed to addressing the life safety problem. So it gives the firefighters a great sense of relief knowing that everybody is out.
Since FOCUS began in 1991, firefighters have visited over 18,000 homes. They've installed over 7,000 smoke detectors and provided more than 5,000 batteries. Showed people how the alarms work and how to keep them working, and they're usually given a warm reception.
And it seems a lot more people are becoming aware of the project. It seems like more houses have smoke detectors. We're not installing as many, which is good. People have been pretty receptive. You know, they usually let us in. They're pretty comfortable. We put them up. It's pretty good for the kids because we give them coloring books and informational things. And not only is the smoke detector going in, we show them how to use it.
But it's that personal contact that really makes a difference. There are children alive today in Milwaukee that wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for that contact between Milwaukee firefighters and the people, the parents and the children.
The money for the FOCUS program comes from private donations. This year, the Helen Bader Foundation donated $5,000, which provided about 1,000 smoke detectors. More and more people are recognizing the importance of smoke detectors, and if you don't live in the target area, you should still make the investment.
It's going to save a life. It's going to save thousands of dollars in property. And when you look at the value of a life, you can't put a price tag on it. So when you look at a $5 to $10 investment related to a life, you know, to me it's a win-win situation.
So no red lights, no sirens from these Milwaukee firefighters as they canvass the neighborhoods, and they'd like to keep it that way. Public education is a big part of their job, and they're very proud of the FOCUS program. They say it helps them live up to the department motto, firefighters save lives and property. With fluorescent orange colors and a shrill whistle to call attention to himself, Jim Fisher referees the constant conflicts between pedestrian and motor vehicle. The retired TV serviceman is one of about 230 crossing guards in Milwaukee. He says the kids at his Manitoba School crossing on Forest Home Avenue are often better at listening than some drivers are.
This is a very, very speedy corner here. They go through here very, very fast, and sometimes it's hard to stop some of these drivers.
Crossing guards come from all walks of life. With their odd hours, most live in the neighborhoods where they work. It's a tough job, and there's a lot to learn, especially dealing with youngsters who may give little thought to the threats posed by rush hour traffic.
They're more impulsive. They take more direction. They need to hear things more often than we do in order to get the task done, even if it's coming to a stop and waiting for the guard to stop traffic before they follow out into the street. So they have to learn how to work with children. They also have to work with a more difficult audience, and that's us as drivers. We're sort of impatient ourselves and maybe don't want to get slowed down on our way to work or wherever we're going. But they need to learn traffic direction as part of their job too. They learn a little public relations, how to deal with the neighbors, how to get along in a neighborhood, and those types of things. They do a little bit of first aid in case they need it.
Crossing guards can't do the job alone. Parents can help children practice crossing a street. And all of us can help make the journey a much safer one, whether we're drivers or pedestrians.
If you like, wait for them to take the kids across. Walk across with them. Show that they have some authority. Show the children that even adults respect them. As drivers, we should begin to slow down as we see a school crossing guard standing on the corner. If you're getting to that school zone, there are school zone speed limits. And that's because children are so impulsive. The reason the guard is out there in the first place is because children are not patient.
While many youngsters walk to school, thousands ride there daily, many on the familiar yellow school buses. Like the Safety Commission, the bus companies work with the schools to reinforce school bus safety rules.
And we encourage the parents really to read these rules. There's simple rules like being on time, staying back from the curb when the bus approaches, no pushing and shoving. And then when you get inside the bus, the importance is sitting down, staying in your seat, no fighting, shouting and yelling. All of these are distractions to our drivers, and it makes their job that much harder. And if they would all abide by these things, they could be driving the kids to and from school safely.
As an added safety precaution, National School Bus Service has installed crossing control arms on its area school buses this year. The 6-foot-long, bright yellow arm helps youngsters avoid that danger zone directly in front of the bus, out of the driver's view. Remember, if the bus is stopped with flashing red lights and stop sign, motorists must also stop. You may not pass. Where there are curbs and sidewalks, buses usually use flashing yellow lights. You can proceed, but do so very cautiously.
Just to be aware of our buses and to be aware and know the rules regarding where the kids are coming from. I think that's the biggest thing. When they see a bus sitting there with the yellow lights, just don't pass it because they don't have to stop in the city. Just use caution, slow down, because you never know what's going to happen.
State officials say the overall safety record of school buses has been pretty good. But with a concern over an increase in the number of accidents, the Common Council adopted a special task force report. Among more than 20 recommendations, additional training for drivers, a campaign to get motorists and bus drivers to be more courteous to each other, stricter enforcement of speed limits, taking steps to improve student behavior on buses. While bus drivers and crossing guards have different responsibilities, they are unique in one area of law enforcement.
The crossing guards and school bus drivers have one thing in common. They are the only two people that can have a ticket issued on their say-so for someone going through their signal to stop. If a driver does drive through, the school bus driver can notify the police department with the license plate, and a citation is issued to the owner of the car. The same thing is true of the school crossing guard.
Hoping to make the trip to school even safer, the Safety Commission will be experimenting with a video camera in school zones.
Where we have had people go through school crossing guard signals to stop, sometimes it's very difficult for the guard to catch that license number. So we are going to be having the video camera in some of these school zones to try and catch the license number of that car so citations can be issued.
So obey the rules and be prepared. 9 out of 10 children involved in pedestrian accidents are struck by motor vehicles when they dart out into the street. Slow down. Be ready to stop anytime near a school bus, or where children are present. Politician and inventor Benjamin Franklin had a hand in development of both libraries and electricity. But I doubt he ever envisioned them working together as they do today. Ben was the guest of honor last month as a new computerized catalog of all public libraries in Milwaukee County went online. Its nickname, County Cat.
Beginning today, all residents of Milwaukee County wherever they live, will have complete access to the vast, rich resources of a truly outstanding library system.
Officially, the new system is called the Milwaukee County Federated Library System Public Access Catalog, County CAT for short. Milwaukee's Central Library, because of its vast resources, serves as the main reference library for the system and the 600,000 of us with library cards. County CAT means that for the first time, you can go to your local library and look at more than 3.8 million items, books, tapes, videos, and more, the entire collections of 14 suburban and 13 City of Milwaukee locations.
It gives people in those branch libraries a chance to see what's here at Central. We have more than 2 million items, including government documents and sheet music, and so people will finally have access to that collection, whereas before they had to come down here and actually go through the card catalog. Now they can get that information online, so it's going to save people a lot of time.
County CAT includes 350 public access computer stations. You do your own searching, following step-by-step instructions on the screen. You don't need any special computer knowledge and shouldn't be threatened by it.
I don't think they should be afraid. It's a very simple system to use. They just need to be able to type, even if it's hunt and peck method. And it's very simple. And even if somebody doesn't know an author's name or the title, the system is very forgiving. It will give you clues and help you out.
And of course, library staff will also be there to help. County CAT is not a personal computer, cannot be used for writing letters or playing games, but it will do everything the card catalog did and much more.
If it's in circulation, it will say in circulation. If it's available, it will say check shelves. Now, if we went up to the central children's room down the hall here and checked out one of those copies, instantly the status on the computer system would change from check shelves to in circulation.
So you can forget about tediously thumbing through library card catalog drawers looking for information. In fact, the catalogs will be disappearing from view. In Milwaukee, at least, they will be saved and are not for sale.
That our neighborhood libraries were not sufficient to provide information through technology.
The Capitol Library is the most recent to undergo a change, observing a renovation celebration this month. That project comes on the heels of remodeling at Zablocki Library, completed last year, and renovation of Atkinson Library. All part of a 5-year plan to bring all branch libraries in the Milwaukee system up to date. In addition, there are 2 new library buildings, Bay View on the south side and Center Street Library on the north side. The 24-year-old King Library is next on the renovation list. In addition to outfitting its libraries for new technologies, Milwaukee is also making them more attractive and convenient to help them compete with other information providers.
And basically, the primary features are service, but faster service in checking out materials. So maybe the circulation desk might be enlarged, relocated, more service points established so that the people can come in and get the materials more quickly. Or another thing might be a more attractive children's area so that the children will feel like, you know, I like to come here very often and have story hour or whatever. Also, the establishment of a young adult area is important and has been done at the libraries that have been renovated. Again, to give the young people a sense of this is our area in the library and gee, they have materials for us.
With new computers and updated buildings, Milwaukee libraries are not only connecting us to information, but also linking us to the information age. The new computer systems will, in the future, allow our libraries to provide other powerful electronic services, such as access to the Internet. And they provide the foundation for future developments in computer library services.